see me. Poof! Now you don't. You don't know what I'm talking about? Oh, man, you will. You will. First time ever interviewing a magician today, guys. And, I mean, he's more than just that. Of course, he is an actor, writer, producer, making his way behind the camera. Like, this guy is basically everywhere and definitely a conversationalist.
Oh, without doubt. And he's a living weapon.
Literally.
Like he's a master of karate. Like he could kill you with his bare hands.
Right?
Like, I mean, this is one definitely interesting interview and an interesting guy for sure.
Definitely. We're talking about Rich Manley. This guy right here. This guy right there. If you're watching the YouTube video. Oh, man. We're super excited about it. He's got a new show coming out on Quibi here soon. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We're going to talk more about that in the interview. But now, let's get a little crazy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Holy moly, we're on episode 135 this week. It's absolutely insane, man.
I can't fathom how quick they're going now.
I know.
I mean, it's like that run to 100 was like, and now it's just like, I guess, like, you know, yeah. I mean, 150 is like right around the corner.
Dude.
200, it's insane.
It really is.
It's insane.
It really is. Just stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Wait until you hear, well, obviously, today's interview, like we teased at the top of the show, but then next week's interview, oh boy, may or may not be the biggest one we've ever done.
That's true.
And true. Best, to be honest with you. I had a whole lot of fun. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Just, I mean, laughing nonstop, and then it got serious because we get in depth. You know, we get in depth, but and some exclusive, ItCalf exclusive news about a huge show that this person may or may not be on. So, yeah.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned till 136. 136 of Inside the Crazy
Ant Farm. The big Halloween show.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man. Maybe we'll pick up some costumes for the YouTube video.
Maybe.
Oh, man. But yes, guys. Yes. So super excited today. You guys know your host with the most. Myself, J-Lo Fantastic, and the one and only Mouth.
What's up?
Oh, guys. There's a lot to talk about. There's some more business stuff to talk about. I always like when we deep dive into the business aspect. And I mean, a lot of stuff broke this week when it comes to Warner Brothers, Quibi. Talking about Quibi again. It's coming back up in the news, so that one's going to be interesting.
Seriously, like, there was some good news, some bad news, and a nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
I mean, the range of business news is crazy this week.
Man.
So, I mean, just, you know.
It's great. It's great. But you guys know, before we get that thing started, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com. We got shirts, we got hats, we have little buttons.
Yes.
We have little buttons if you're looking on the YouTube video. We have little buttons. They're teeny tiny.
Get crazy.
Teeny tiny. They're so good, though. They're so good.
You can literally put them anywhere.
You can. We actually sell phone cases now on the website. So if you want a phone case, be sure to hit us up, direct message us. We'll send you the link. And man, oh man, your phone can look a little crazy.
Yes.
But we're going to talk about some shady shit at the beginning. We're going to talk about some shady shit. I mean, we've been talking about this since the case first started and first the allegations and everything like that. Danny Masterson.
Yes.
Finally, the judge ruled this week that the rape case against the one and only Danny Masterson can go forward, rejecting a defensive argument that the allegations are too old to prosecute Masterson, who is 44.
Yeah, I mean, there's no statute on limitations on certain types of attacks.
Yeah.
And apparently this judge is like, nope.
No, fuck that.
I'm throwing this one out. It's going to trial. So, yeah, here's the crazy part, y'all. Like, I mean, you know, it's several different women who have accused him, and if he's convicted on all these charges, okay, 3 different women over a period of years, 2 years, if he's convicted, 45 years to life.
I mean,
45 is pretty much life anyway when you're in your late 30s. So I mean, 45 to life if he's convicted on all of it. So
yeah, man. I mean, definitely well deserved. We need to see more actions like this happening in the entertainment industry and all over the world when it comes to the Me Too movement, because so many allegations come out, but then don't go legally, don't go to the courts. And so I'm glad this is actually happening, and there's going to be a trial because it needs to freaking happen, man.
It does.
But yeah, it's actually it's really crazy to think about. It's really crazy to think about. And other things that are crazy to think about. Jeff Bridges. I didn't know this. I didn't see this coming.
Dude, The dude.
The dude.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is sad. But I feel like if anybody's got this under control, it's Jeff Bridges, right?
It seems like it.
He's been diagnosed with lymphoma, guys, and as you guys know, that's a cancer.
Yeah.
It attacks the lymph system in the body that fights off diseases. Sometimes you need blood transfusions. There's different types. There's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and Hodgkin's lymphoma. So, we're not sure which one he has. I don't think that's been publicly released yet, but look, he's taken it, and he's like, his statement was basically, I've got the best doctors, we've caught it early, I'm going to do everything I have to do, and I mean, I feel like this is a guy that can get through this.
Agreed.
So,
and he's not letting it slow him down either.
No.
He's still currently in production for a TV miniseries, The Old Man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's definitely not letting it slow it down, and I mean, most recently in 2018, Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh, he was so badass in that too.
Honestly. But yeah, I like to see cases like this. They keep going, and I mean, just accepting their truth. I feel like it becomes more personal when you tell your fans about your truth of what's going on.
Absolutely.
Of course, everybody respects the privacy of, like a Chadwick Boseman who didn't want to say anything. But I don't know. I always like kind of when they let us in on what's going on in their lives so we can kind of understand them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and best wishes, thoughts are with you, and we're pulling for a speedy, fast recovery,
definitely.
and that everything is good. So, speaking of something that everybody is wanting speedy, but it doesn't appear that it's going to move at any kind of rapid speed, although I guess this is some good news.
Yeah,
the state of California has set, finally, strict guidelines for the reopening of Disneyland in the coming months. California's Director of Health and Human Services, Dr. Mark Gailey, announced that the theme park will be able to open at a 25% capacity when Orange County reaches the lowest yellow tier under the color-coded reopening system. That's based on the coronavirus prevalence and testing rates. The yellow tier is the minimal designation. It's assigned when daily new cases are under 1 per 100,000 people. Currently, only 9 of California's 58 counties fall in that tier.
Yeah,
Orange County is currently red, meaning at the top of the list.
Yeah.
So how quickly that'll mean, like a minimum at least of a month, but I don't see them getting from red to yellow in a month.
That quickly.
But
yeah. Who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, of course, I feel like they had to put out this article and put out this press release because they were getting hammered. California itself was getting hammered, and Disneyland was like, what the fuck? Disney was like, most of our money, well, not most of, a lot of our money comes from the theme park, so, they were waiting for the green light to get back into work, but yeah, I mean, just got to be careful, man.
Absolutely.
Got to be careful. It's all for each other's well-being. Like, it's not to punish anybody, but we just got to stay healthy.
Absolutely. And we should say the same guidelines will obviously also be in place for Universal Studios and, the Knott's Berry Farm, I think it's called. All the theme parks in Southern California. So, we'll see, man. I mean, they've been okay in Orlando. They've been open for a while and haven't had any issues under these guidelines. So, we'll see.
Yeah,
hang in there, Disneyland.
Right. Oh my goodness. Well, exciting things happening for Disney Plus.
Yes.
They have confirmed a Willow sequel series taking place years after the events of the original Ron Howard directed pick, and it's heading into production this year.
Finally.
I've never seen this film.
No, but I know. That's so funny because you've never seen it, but we've been talking about this Willow series for since we started the show.
We have.
Ron Howard is like, no, it's coming, I promise. But wait, hold on.
Yeah.
No. But now we know it is coming finally. So it's going to be awesome. I mean, Howard is obviously going to return to the project as executive producer.
Yeah.
And I know what you're thinking. Is Willow coming back? Yes. Warwick Davis will once again play our hero Willow. So I mean, and for anybody who doesn't know, this is it's going to fall under Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be the first Star Wars adventure or project since 2015.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty cool.
I think so.
I think, you know.
I mean, especially like a series. I don't know if they've ever done a series. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm probably gonna get hammered with that. Oh, they've done this. They've done that. I'm sorry. No. I don't act like I know everything.
No.
But yeah, I'm super excited. I want to go back and watch the original. Was in the 80s, right? The movie.
Yes, it was.
So, he remembers. He was there.
Definitive. It was a definitive movie. If you were anywhere around in the 80s, it's on your all-time favorite list.
Yeah.
It's impossible not to be. And the good news is while we are going to go back into that world that we're familiar with and the characters that we're familiar with, apparently it's going to introduce all new characters.
That's exciting.
Also. So, and kind of having an updated story going along with it. So, yeah, Ron Howard.
Yeah,
I mean, anything Imagine does is like, so. Okay.
Agreed. I mean, we'll be talking a little bit more about them.
Oh, yeah.
And exciting news for FX and Hulu. You know that FX is on Hulu. Archer has been renewed for season 12 at FXX. It's crazy that an animated series goes this long. I mean,
right?
You think about, like, Family Guy and The Simpsons, and that's kind of the longest, like, it's been. But a show like Archer, which is kind of, like, outside the normal adult animated series, is still going that long. So it's awesome it has this huge cult phenomena fan base and able to keep going like that. And, of course, Hulu. I mean, they have really great content right now.
It's true.
So I feel like they are definitely, not a lot of people talk about Hulu, but they're up there. They're up there.
I mean, absolutely. They are a huge part of Disney's streaming strategy.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks Disney Plus, but remember, guys, they own all of Hulu now too.
Exactly.
And that is a huge part of their streaming platform. So.
Exactly. And I mean, they just picked up the rights to domestic distribution for Cecilia Duvall's directed film, Happiest Season. And it's going to be a rare mainstream holiday comedy centered around two women in love. The original distributor and co-financer, Sony, will retain the rights to Canada and the rest of the world.
Yes.
And I mean, the exciting thing is, like, this has a lot of stars attached to it.
It really does.
In the film. Kristen Stewart, Mackenzie Davis, and like I said, and it's going to premiere on Hulu on November 25th. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, and then like you said, Allison Brie, Aubrey Plaza, Daniel Levy, Victor Garber, Mary Steenburgen, all in this film with them. So, like, damn.
Every time you said her name, I for sure thought you said Mary Steenburgen.
No, Virgin.
Yeah.
Virgin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, see, this is what we're here for, to learn about the entertainment industry and how to pronounce names. We're here to learn, guys.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo! Although I'm sure she's heard that throughout her life so many times.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like,
sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
she's a great, too.
That's
right. She's a legend, so I feel
she
bad.
is.
It's all good. It's all good. Oh, man. But more exciting things happening at Hulu. The Chamber's writer, Randy McKinnon, is now developing a 1-hour drama titled Wild Rabbit.
Yeah.
And he's going to serve as creator, writer, executive producer on the series. And it's going to be inspired by events of his own life, which follows a college sports phenomena, Montel Harris, that's the character. And he who has like the world at his fingertips, but then his life changes after he is assaulted and has like a career-ending injury. Damn, deep.
Yeah,
Deep,
I mean, like, come on now,
right?
And I feel like it's a timely story because now, these days with all these like crazy contracts in pro sports and all this kind of stuff going on, people forget that all it takes, one tiny thing, and your career is over. And if that's all you had, if you weren't prepared beyond that, you're in trouble. Yeah. So I feel like this is going to be an interesting story. And
Agreed. Agreed. Especially going back to, you feel like you're on top of the world, like maybe even on screen, like being shot for college football games and things like that. And then you get injured and go back to like the hood, the ghetto. Like you're back in like day-to-day life and people are like, oh, I know you. And you're like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. So it's going to be crazy. I definitely think it is a nowadays like story to tell. So it's going to be good, especially when a lot of kids are going to college, sports scholarships, and are one and done. Like, go 1 year and then go to the NFL, or go 1 year and then go to the NBA. Like, it's so necessary to tell these type of stories, too. You need to have something to fall back on.
Yeah. And I mean, to put the twist on it, I mean, this was an attack that caused the injury.
Right. And like, didn't even have to do with a sports injury.
Yeah, just like, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, Hulu's doing some good stuff, and they're edgy, and I mean, so. Whew. Okay, so Warner Media. Okay, we're gonna switch over now to the bunny from the mouse.
That's right.
They had good news and kind of just like shake-up news, right? So let's start with the shake-up news. Warner Brothers Television Operations Chairman Peter Roth has decided to vacate his position at the TV studio. He's out of there.
Deuces.
After more than 2 decades leading the television division, he's slated to step down in early 2021. Apparently, him and Warner Media have been planning this exit for a while. Anna Sarnoff, who's been discussing the transition with him, so they were prepared for this. Now, here's the crazy thing, guys. You're talking about a guy that over the last couple of decades that he's been there was responsible for putting shows up like The West Wing, Big Bang Theory, Gilmore Girls, 2.5 Men, Gossip Girl, The Flash and the Arrowverse, Supernatural. I mean, think about that for a minute. And I know what you're thinking, like they weren't all on like this or that. Well, Warner Brothers TV produces shows for other networks also. Warner, that's a thing. So,
right.
So while 2.5 Men might have been on, CBS, or Big Bang Theory was on CBS, it was a Warner Brothers TV production, and this guy was behind it. So, what do you do in that instance? What do you do? Well, we were wondering a couple of weeks ago about where this individual would end up, right? We're talking about Channing Dungey, who a couple of weeks ago exited Netflix after a long period of time. We were thinking, I don't know, where does she go? There's some openings there. Well, now we know. Channing has officially been tapped to take over for Peter Roth when he leaves as chairman of Warner Brothers TV.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. Exactly. I mean, that's a good call in my opinion. She has worked at Warner Brothers in the past, way back. She worked at Disney before Netflix. She's got a ton of experience. So I think this is a smart move. I don't think you're losing anything by Channing coming in and replacing him. So, and it, like I said, just comes just 2 weeks after she left Netflix. So the cherry picking, the jumping from streamer to streamers, that is like every week
Streaming
going
wars
on,
is alive and real, man. Like, it's absolutely insane. And I mean, with these streamers, like, just hitting the ground running, freaking Warner Brothers and AT&T/HBO Max announced the growth of HBO Max numbers. Like, they came in well over projections. They thought they were going to have around like 36 million in subscribers, but they actually have 38 million in subscribers. Like, that's awesome.
Doubling the third quarter numbers to 8.6 million. I mean, they thought they were going to put close to 5 in, but 8.6 in this third. They had impressive third quarter numbers.
They did.
We're going to talk a little bit later about maybe some people who didn't have some impressive numbers for the third quarter.
Yeah.
But it does show, though, that the numbers, HBO and HBO Max combined, had almost 2 million gain in the third quarter. So congratulations. Now, if you get on Roku, I think that'll skyrocket even more. I mean, like, keep in mind, this is the one that was hard to find.
Exactly.
Where can I watch it? Where can I not? Do I have it? Do I not have it? So to put up those type numbers with all that chaos is impressive, and I think it's only going to keep getting better for Warner Media.
I agree. I agree, especially like you said, if they finalize that Roku deal, if there's one going on, and if not, we want that to happen because it's definitely necessary. And or the Apple deal. We saw that maybe an Apple deal is going on with HBO Max too. We talked about multiple times how Apple's TV is trying to be like that one-stop shop hub place. So whatever you get done first, we are there for it because we basically have all the streaming services and we are ready to go. But I'm so super happy about this because there's a lot of great content on HBO Max that nobody's talking about.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I'm thrilled to see that.
A lot of great content coming, as you guys know.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Agreed.
Well, that little thing is going to be on HBO Max, and we've got some surprising news for the Snyder cut. This is exciting. Jared Leto is going to come back as Joker in Snyder's Justice League cut. Unclear whether it was always meant to appear in Justice League. As you guys know, he did not appear in the Justice League cut that was theatrically released. So it's unclear if Snyder's version included him or if he's now just adding him because this thing's going to be like 4 hours long on HBO Max.
I hope with the change of direction that maybe this character will get portrayed a different type of way. I hated Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad. So we shall see, man. We shall see. I mean, Zack Snyder seems to have this epic vision of these characters and of the Justice League. So I'm holding high hopes, man. I'm holding high hopes, but like I said, I hated his Joker.
Telling you, I think we're going to see the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Because it was also I just saw this about an hour ago, Joe Manganiello has been confirmed to be coming back as Deathstroke also for the Snyder Cut. So, you know, if you're bringing Joker, if you're bringing Deathstroke, I mean, it just seems like they're lining up the villains. So maybe we are. Remember that scene that was like very super brief at the end of Justice League with Deathstroke meeting Luthor?
Yeah.
Like they were trying to pull together the group. I'm just thinking maybe that's what's going to go down.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Who knows, man? Who knows, man? But definitely more comic book news that is happening over at Warner Brothers.
Yes.
And I think this is the perfect guy for the job. Michael B. Jordan will produce a movie adaptation of the DC comic book hero Static Shock.
Yes.
A.k.a. Virgil Hawkins, created by Milestones Media and DC Comics in the 1990s. This is epic because everybody knows it's a black man. So, I mean, we need to see more of that.
Yes.
So I love that. I love that so freaking much. And I mean, it's a teenage superhero. A lot of people know that. With electromagnetic powers, a Static Shock animated series aired on Warner Brothers in the early 2000s. So I'm sure a lot of people remember that character. I watched it.
Yeah, I loved it. Me too. I thought it was a really good cartoon, and it was a really good, well done superhero cartoon.
Agreed.
You know, and they've made leaps and bounds since then, but it was good even back then.
There,
so,
yeah.
Super happy about that. So, and like you said, I mean, anything that Michael B. Jordan is attaching himself to, you know, is going to be good.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I'm excited.
That's that first look deal with Warner Brothers, though. Remember
That's
I was talking about that a couple of months ago? That's that
Mm-hmm.
first look deal right there.
That's right.
That's what happens. HBO has also greenlit a limited series adaptation of Joe Nesbo novel, The Sun.
Yes.
And Jake Gyllenhaal himself attached to star and executive produce. This seems to be the thing now.
It is.
I mean, especially for the big-time established actors. They're like, oh, yeah, can you star? But if you want to produce, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to, well, you know what I think that is? I think that's, hey, look, we're going to pay you a little bit less because we want to try to keep this budget under control. But we're going to make you a producer. And then in the event, you know, these things start winning awards, you got to be a producer to participate in that.
Right.
Unless you're talking individual acting or something like, you know. But to be, you know, like best picture or best show or, you know, win the Emmy for best, you know, drama, you have to be a producer to be on the team to get that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a lot of it. It's like, we can't pay you, but we're going to make you a producer and you can share in some back end profits.
Right.
And if we win anything, you're on that. So it makes sense to me. I mean, you know.
Exactly. I mean, and it's supposed to be like it's coming from the Westworld creators, so it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Brutal hierarchy, corruption, all that good stuff, vengeance, drama. So I mean, stay tuned for that, guys. Stay tuned for that. And speaking of another drama, one that I still need to check out.
Yes, you do, man.
I mean,
so good this one, man. We're talking about Euphoria.
Yes.
Yes, Zendaya. Remember she won the Emmy?
So happy for her.
Yeah. Well, the bad news is we still have to wait until God knows when next year to see it for the second season because apparently it is not coming out until almost the end of next year. But there's a little holdover for you. They have confirmed, HBO has confirmed, that there will be 2 special episodes for the drama that will kind of hold us over until we can get season 2. The first episode will be titled Trouble Don't Last Always, and it's going to find Rue in the aftermath. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't seen it, but sorry. It's going to find Rue in the aftermath of being left by Jules at the train station and relapsing back into the drugs and the alcohol and all the problems. And it's going to follow her. Apparently, she's going to be going through all this during Christmas.
Oh, shit.
So it's a Christmas episode. It's going to be great. It's set to air, and I think it really is meant to be a Christmas episode. It's set to air December 6th, Sunday, December 6th on HBO. The second episode, they haven't revealed anything yet. Not the title, not the plot, not the date. That's all coming later. They're going to announce that here within the next few weeks. Of course, we'll tell you when they do. I'm excited, though, because I love this show, and to have to wait, it's like another Crown situation. It's like, oh, here's season 1, now wait 18 years for season 2. It's like, what the fuck? But at least we get a Christmas special.
Definitely. I mean, you know, it's a highly popular show, so well-deserved, man.
Yes,
well-deserved.
yes.
And I wonder how that's going to work as well, because we know that sometimes maybe with, like, for example, CBS All Access airs Star Trek Lower Decks the same day on network that it does on the streaming service. And sometimes Hulu, I mean, of course, being a streaming service and being partnered with the networks, get it the next day. Mm-hmm. So with it being HBO Max and HBO, is it going to be same day or the next day? Interesting questions.
It is very interesting questions. Yeah. So
who knows?
Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see around Christmas.
That's right.
Drugs and fucking cotton candy.
I mean, canes, you know, will we see Santa? Well, that's the question.
Right.
Will Rue run into Santa?
Eric Dane is Santa.
Yeah.
HBO has also ordered a limited series, The White Lotus.
Yes.
Interesting. When I read this morning, I for sure said it said the White House. I was like, political. But it's going to be a 6-episode series, and it's set at an exclusive tropical resort and follows the exploits of various guests and employees over a span of a week. The cast includes Murray Bartlett, Connie Britton, Jennifer Coolidge, Alexandra Daddario, Fred. Lots of people, man. Lots of people.
Just jump to the easy ones. Jake Lacey, Brittany O'Grady, Steve Zahn.
Exactly.
It's going to be great. I mean, the cast, seriously, though, is really good. And that's about all they give us.
Yeah,
okay, I mean, what's it really going to dive into? What's going on at this tropical resort? We don't know.
No.
I guess we'll find out.
We had bad times at the tropical resort.
That's it.
Now heading over to Viacom CBS. Black Monday has been renewed for season 3 at Showtime. The new season will go into production around 2021 and debut a little later that year. Everybody knows the series stars Don Cheadle, Andrew Renes, Regina Hall, like Paul Scheer, and I mean, there's so many others.
Oh yeah,
but it's great. It's great to see that good content is getting renewed. Kind of sad because Netflix doesn't renew anything.
Right.
But it's okay. It's
Seriously.
okay. You can get new life or just life in general other places.
That's it. And this is a good show too. Anybody who hasn't watched it, it's really about like these underdog kind of, underperformers. Nobody thinks they're really going to do it, and it takes place during the worst stock market crash.
Yeah.
And so, they kind of come out and hit and have a little bit of success. It's a really entertaining show. So season 3, that's pretty awesome.
Agreed. And then following that announcement, renewed for the 3rd season, Regina Hall has inked a first look deal with Showtime. And I mean, you guys know the spiel. Under the pack, Hall will develop, produce TV projects for Showtime via her production company, RH Negative. Sources tell us that she is poised to star and executive produce in an hour-long comedy special, which is already in development under this deal. So that's really exciting. I wonder how that, I can only imagine you have content ready to pitch when you're trying to get this first look deal. So, we'll get there.
I think so. Okay. Now, we just said, right, at the top of the show when we were talking about Disney, well, Ron Howard is everywhere. Brian Grazer is everywhere. Imagine. So CBS also. Right? Okay, it only makes sense. Apparently, CBS is in advanced talks with Brian Grazer and Ron Howard and everybody's favorite guy to hate, Simon Cowell, to produce the next big music competition series. Do we want Simon back on another music competition series? I don't know, but I guess it's happening.
Right.
But we're putting Ron Howard and Brian Grazer, so it should be successful. It's going to be called 50 States of Stardom. Mm-hmm. It's going to mix a music competition with a unique documentary format in order to discover America's next greatest talents. That's kind of cool. It's going to be a music competition show, but also a docuseries.
Right.
It's going to profile all 50 states in the U.S., narrow down one talented musician from each state, and then the process will culminate in a showcase competition ending in the determination of the most talented musician in the country.
Kind of sounds like American Idol.
Right? Yeah, but American Idol didn't have Ron Howard and Brian Grazer doing little documentaries about the contestants.
Yeah.
So that I'm guessing that's what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So hold on. Let me make sure we get this right. I think that's the docuseries will capture each contestant's journey, both in the competition and outside of it, for a show that is both cinematic and realistic. There, I wanted to make sure I got that in. I thought I read that right earlier, but so there you go. You're going to get a little mini film about each of the contestants. And you will have a panel of judges. You will have a host. We don't know who. We don't know. We don't even know if it's going to get greenlit.
Right.
But if it's Ron Howard and Brian Grazer, I'm betting it is.
Yeah, right.
So, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this one. This will be interesting. And what does that mean for Simon Cowell with America's Got Talent?
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting to see, man. Paramount Plus is also in development of... Are you ready?
Currently CBS All Access.
Yeah, right. Currently CBS All Access. Flashdance as a reboot series. No.
What a feeling.
What a feeling. Kill me now.
Yeah,
This sucks. This sucks because we know we hate reboots.
I mean, we've all seen it. Okay, it's funny when you recreate the dancing on the chair and the water splashing down and and they're cool 80s songs. What a feeling, and she's a maniac. But we don't need to see it again.
No.
We don't need to see it. And we were talking about this, and I called it. I assure you, we should tape our conversations when we just talk in industry news or whatever. But the second I read the headline, I said, there's no way she's going to be a coal miner again. She's not working in a coal mine. That shit will never fly.
No.
They're going to have to change that story up. They are.
They are.
She is now a black woman who's a stripper with ballet dreams.
Oh,
what?
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, look, guys. I think Lil Cam said this best. We're all for diversity. We're all for kind of making things relevant and everything. But isn't that very stereotypical? Why she's got to be a stripper?
Right,
she could be working any other hard grind, dead end job. Why she got to be a stripper?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is bad from start to finish. Don't do this. Just don't do this.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's intense, man.
She will learn how to love herself.
She will. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see. NBC Universal has announced that for Saturday Night Live, Adele is set to host this week's Saturday Night Live tomorrow, and her will be the musical guest. So that's super exciting. We love Adele.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
we had to throw that in there because we love Adele.
Of course. Of course. And also some other cool things. Champion figure skater Adam Rippon is developing a comedy series about skating at NBC.
Oh.
And the series is set in the off-the-wall adult figure skating world, and it's said to tackle the oversized ambitions, underwhelming talent, and boundless heart as one of the women fights for her family, failing knees, and every other skater on the ice.
So it's going to be like Tanya Harding? No.
Ouch.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean, she was talented.
Right.
She was crazy, but she was talented.
Yeah,
I mean, she could skate.
Yeah. And this next one, I'm not excited about this either.
Yeah,
I mean, even though it's coming from Seth MacFarlane, everybody knows.
Yeah.
I love him.
At least the figure skater thing was original.
Yeah.
Right? But here we go again. We just talked Flashdance. Now here we go again. If you're old like me, you loved this movie. You loved it. You loved Sally Field. You loved Burt Reynolds, Jackie Gleason. How could you not love the car? I'm talking about Smokey and the Bandit, of course. Of course. Well, let's remake it.
Yeah.
What?
Why?
And let's make it a TV series. What? Why?
Making all these good old classic films into series.
It just doesn't make... Seth MacFarlane is behind this. So you would think it's going to be good, but I'm like, Seth, why?
I know.
Why?
It's unnecessary.
The writer of Pineapple Express is going to be writing it. Why?
I know.
You're going to love our top 5 today because we're going to tell you things that should be, but not Smokey and the Bandit. Not Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, really, really interesting. And a book is coming to a close, finally. We're talking about the Fast and Furious. The franchise is finally coming to a conclusion after 10th and 11th film. I mean, a few years ago, Ludacris said they wanted to aim for 10, but apparently they wanted to do 11. Justin Lin, who directed the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 9th film, will return to direct the final 2 installments of the franchise. And yeah, I'm just ready for it to finally be over.
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. They still want to try to build that universe. So Dom's story's over. That franchise is over, but apparently we're finding out that the world is going on.
No shit.
So yeah, apparently there's a bunch of spin-off storylines still in place that are still in development. They plan on moving forward with all these like crazy spin-off ideas. I mean, Hobbs and Shaw obviously was successful, so I'm guessing they think that they can just keep pushing this thing. So is it really over? If you're just getting rid of Dom, is it really over?
Right.
I mean, you know.
Nobody wants to hear Dom sing, by the way.
No, and he said he was going to do more. No.
I know. It's so bad.
Just do another. I'd rather you do another Fast and Furious. I'm just going to say it. After listening to that, I mean, and I can't sing either, okay? I can't sing either, so I can't judge. But I'm just saying, I would rather see another Fast and Furious movie.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Just saying. Oh, and Universal's long-awaited adaptation of the smash Broadway musical Wicked has hit yet another roadblock. The director, Stephen Daldry, has departed the movie due to scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, this thing has basically been in development since it hit Broadway.
Ever.
They were like, as soon as they saw it on Broadway, they're like, we're making a movie out of this.
Yeah.
And it has like literally been sitting in development hell since then. They've tried, it's failed. It was looking so good, but no.
It sucks.
No, and it looked like it was finally going to happen last year, but no.
And it sucks. And it shows that, like, with The Greatest Showman and Hamilton, people want to see these adaptations.
Yeah.
Like, especially, I think they should do more like Hamilton, where they film it multi-camera, like an actual musical, and do it that way, because I think that was such a badass experience. I don't not necessarily like the movie musical aspect, but I mean, either or. I mean, to each his own. But yeah,
The Greatest Showman, bro.
Yeah.
That was a movie musical.
I know. I still haven't seen it, so that's why I'm. Yeah. I mean, you know this.
And every time I'm shocked. Like, I keep waiting for him to say, oh, yeah, no, I saw it. Hugh Jackman is the best ever.
No.
He hasn't. Zendaya's in it. Zac Efron's in it.
Efron,
like, everybody's in it.
Yeah.
It's The Greatest Showman. But no, can't get J-Lo to watch it.
Group watch on Disney Plus tonight.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, my goodness. Other cool things happening.
Is it, though?
I don't know. I really don't.
It's another reboot.
Because, I mean, I don't know this franchise at all, so I'm a little too young for it. Simon Kinberg has signed on to write and produce Universal's feature adaptation of the sci-fi franchise Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, are you a little too young for the one that was just around a few years ago, or like the original with like fucking Lauren Green?
I guess I just never paid attention to this at all, because like I've heard of the name, but I have no idea what it's about.
Yeah, it was first on in the 70s with Paul Cartwright, Lauren Green. And remember Face from the A-Team, and like, I mean, there was a lot of people on it. It was very, a lot of people thought as it transitioned out of the 70s into the 80s that somehow Knight Rider was involved with it, because the Cyclones had these like red visors that went, and then Kit had that. They're like, oh shit, Kit's no. It was no. Anyway, they rebooted it with Edward James Olmos a few years back, and it was hugely successful again.
Yeah.
And now apparently they're gonna reboot it again. And what's crazy is we're talking about a feature film reboot here, but they also have another TV series, I guess, for the third time on NBC Universal's Peacock. So
talk about redundant, rebooting a reboot.
For the third time.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. I mean,
know.
And the movie, who knows? I don't know. I loved both shows, but enough is enough.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need all these.
Agreed. Well, we have good news and bad news about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Sony announced that the sequel to this huge cult classics phenomena, it's also going to be delayed.
Yes.
I mean, we've been talking about COVID delaying all these freaking movies, but the cool thing is, when it comes out, it's going to be exactly 37 years since the original film.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool.
Next summer, right? June 11th, 2021.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 37. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your back hurts. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, I'm excited about it though because I like the darker adaptation they're going with.
I did too.
So I'm excited. I mean, Paul Rudd, who doesn't love Paul Rudd, and I really like Finn Wolfhard there from Stranger Things. So
yes. It seems like every story we're starting with is like, okay, here's the good news. Finally confirmed that Legally Blonde 3 is happening. MGM's like, yeah, we're going. Reese is everywhere saying, woo, we're doing it. And the bad news is that while that's true, they've decided to push it back. So
it's like a balloon that got deflated.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. But now it's going to be pushed back. The release date, May 20th, 2022.
Yeah.
So as if we weren't waiting long enough for another bend and snap, we got to wait another couple of years.
Yeah.
But at least it's happening. It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening, guys. And this next, I'm confused by this one because the animation version of The Addams Family is actually doing very well.
Yeah.
But now the MGM Television is developing a new Addams Family live action TV series. Another reboot. Why? Why? You're hitting the bag too many times.
It's true.
You're beating a dead horse. That's what I'm trying to say.
And this is what I don't understand. The people attached to this, you would think they're so creative. They're so groundbreaking in what they do. Why would they want to do a reboot?
Exactly.
I'm talking about Alfred Gough and Miles Miller. If you guys know who they are, they created Smallville way back in the day.
Yep.
They just have a ton of hits,
yep.
Okay, that they've created over the last couple of decades. And then Tim Burton is apparently in negotiations to direct this thing. Now, if you've got Gough and Miller and Tim Burton, who probably are like I said, they've put so much groundbreaking original content out there over the last 30 years. Why do we need to go back to the Addams Family?
I know.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's the same with the Power Rangers. The Power Rangers are coming back for more film and television adaptations.
Yes.
Hasbro, stop. E1, stop.
Yes.
Entertainment One, I should say. The company has tapped Jonathan Entwistle, creator of the Netflix series I'm Not Okay With This, and It's the End of the Fucking World, to lead the projects for Entertainment One, and they're developing and producing the projects with Install to direct across both platforms.
Yeah.
Stop.
Again, I think this is another attempt at starting a universe.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to recreate the MCU magic. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen with Battlestar Galactica. It's not going to happen with the Power Rangers. That is a one and done. That was a genius plan that was executed brilliantly. It is not going to happen again. Stop trying. Stop trying with all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and this next one, we're finally here, guys. We're finally here. You guys know how we were talking about third quarter earnings and how it was great for HBO Max, but the juggernaut itself, Netflix, fell short a little bit.
Yeah.
It fell a little short.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Subscriber growth dropped considerably.
Yeah.
Of course, they had a huge initial second quarter bump because of COVID.
Yeah.
Everybody was staying home watching, but that dropped and it fell off considerably for the third quarter. They netted 2.2 million subscribers in the third quarter, which was well below not only Wall Street's expectations, but also Netflix's own expectations. They thought they were going to do much better than that. They did not. And not only was it bad for subscriber news, but the profits weren't as high as they thought it was going to be either. They posted net earnings well below the analyst consensus estimates, with a revenue of $6.44 billion and earnings of only $1.74 per share. Wall Street was expecting as high as $2.13 a share, so that is considerably lower than what they thought. So.
I mean, what we were talking about off the show, what is Netflix going to do when literally everybody has it? Especially something like COVID that hit last quarter and then kind of boosted their numbers extremely massively that we talked about.
That's right.
But what happens when everybody has it? You're going to miss those marks. You're not going to get the subscriber base that you wanted because of everybody already has it. And also, I feel like a lot of people are canceling Netflix because, one, they keep canceling all these shows. And two, I feel like, honestly, I'm just going to put this out there. All their quote-unquote blockbuster movies are subpar at best.
Yeah.
In my opinion, subpar at best.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man.
Well, and you bring up the cancellations. They did say, they were trying to spin this a little bit positive, that they do have $1.1 billion of cash on hand.
Yeah.
But that's because of all of the halted productions and or cancellations.
Yeah.
It's spread out because of COVID. So the only reason they have that is because they stopped spending or canceled shows. So, you know,
Yeah.
you spend that any way you want to, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. And they keep trying new stuff, too. I mean, we talked about the past couple weeks how they got rid of that 30-day free trial shit and are focusing more on the website, the Netflix free website where you can, watch the pilots of the episodes. Well, now they're also planning something new. The new promotion letting everyone in a given country across the world have access for free for a weekend, like literally a 48-hour free promo, basically. And it's happening in India first to test the water out. And the move comes after earlier this month. Like I said, they got rid of that 30-day free trial.
Yeah.
I just don't know, man. They're trying to be innovators. I'll give them that. They're really trying because after what we talked about, once everybody has streaming and cut the cord, streaming is going to become network, basically, where everybody has it and prices are going to keep going up and up and up. I mean, we've seen that with Netflix, drastically.
Right.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. They're trying different stuff, and kudos to them, but I don't think they're trying the right stuff. Now, I don't know what that is. I mean, I threw out the idea of possibly VR content, more VR content, because I think that was great, especially what they did with that Black Mirror movie that they did.
Right.
But yeah, I just don't know. I don't know, but keep canceling everybody's favorite shows like Away that everybody loved. They canceled it for the second season, and people are just gonna drop off.
I am totally pissed about that, by the way, and I like the little pun. You kind of the right stuff.
Yeah,
that's kicking ass on Disney, by the way.
It is.
Just saying, they're not canceling it.
No,
just saying. But Away, I was really disappointed because it was a really top-notch drama.
It was
about NASA and about the mission to Mars, led by a woman. The lead character in this was a woman, Hilary Swank, and a ridiculously diverse cast. Russian, Asian, Indian, because they were all on this mission to Mars. So it's a hugely diverse cast, right? You're talking about a woman-led content, talking about dealing with the man left at home while the woman is the breadwinner, and he's dealing with the stuff that he's got to go through and everything. Everything seemed like it was rolling like this is the perfect kind of show that you want right now in society, and they cancel it.
Yeah.
What?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. They try to claim it was budget reasons, but come on, man. You got to make some decisions. Sometimes you got to spend in the right places, and I felt like Away was in the right places, and I don't know.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy,
it is crazy.
Man. But exciting things happening for Netflix. Kristen Bell is set to star in The Woman in the House, and it's going to be a limited series. I feel like all their shows should just be a limited series.
Right.
It has been picked up by Netflix. It's 8 episodes. It stars Bell as a heartbroken protagonist, Anna, and her every day, and every day it's the same. She sits there with her wine, staring out the window, watching life go by without her. But then one handsome fellow passes by. A neighbor moves in across the street, and she sees a light at the end of the tunnel. That is until she witnesses a gruesome murder. Or did she? Just reading that, I'm like, oh shit.
Is the handsome guy a killer or not?
Or is she crazy?
Yeah.
Because she never leaves the house, apparently. But Belle is going to executive produce the series in addition to starring. Like we talked about, this is happening more and more frequently. So I'm excited for that one.
Me too. And you know what? I'm going to bring up some Dominic West news, and it has nothing to do with is he or is he not boinking Lily James.
Right.
Remember? Who cares? Leave them alone. We don't care what they're doing. We don't know. What we do know is he's apparently really close to signing a deal to play Prince Charles in the final 2 seasons of The Crown.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, he's going to star opposite Elizabeth Debicki as Princess Diana for seasons 5 and 6. And as we guys know, it's going to take it into the 1990s and the 2000s. And I mean, come on, guys. We all know what goes down in the storyline with Princess Diana and Charles and Camilla and all of the kind of stuff. So it's interesting. So I'm excited, but I agree with you. I think it's a really good choice. So we'll see. Hopefully the deal gets done because they're going to need some people.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be an intense storyline to finish this series off. So
Agreed. And speaking about intense, I mean, Netflix has the rights to Chadwick Boseman's final film, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and it's set to release. It actually released its first trailer, which the late actor was suited up in a tuxedo, playing blues music, and with co-star Viola Davis. The film tells a story about a trailblazing blues artist, Ma Rainey, portrayed by Davis, set in Chicago in 1927, and the musicians grapple with the issues of race, music, relationships, and the exploitation of black recording artists. So I'm super excited about this one.
Yeah, me too. And from everything I'm understanding and hearing, his performance is off the charts. We should say it's coming out December 18th, so you'll be able to see it in, about a month and a half. But the performance from everything that we're hearing it's Oscar worthy, and Netflix announced today that they have every intention of putting all the money behind it and trying to get him the Oscar. So posthumous as it be, they are going to go after it hardcore, trying to get him an Oscar. So we'll see. I'm excited to see it, though. I'm really excited to see it.
Definitely. Well, recently Emmy-winning Jeremy Strong is in talks to portray the writer John Gruen and Bradley Cooper as Maestro?
Yep, Maestro, yep.
Yeah, and the Leonard Bernstein biopic for Netflix.
Yes.
Everybody knows Cooper is producing, co-writing, directing, and starring in the film. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yes.
I mean, we love A Star Is Born, so he needs to get behind the camera more.
He does. And Jeremy Strong is a brilliant actor.
He is.
I mean, come on now. He just won the Emmy last month, as you guys know, for Succession. He was brilliant on The Good Wife. Everything he's kind of ever done.
The Gentleman, too.
The Gentleman, yep, fantastic. And then you pair him with, Bradley Cooper playing Bernstein. I mean, it's gonna be really good.
Agreed.
And if you guys didn't know, Ruben most recently Trial of Chicago 7. And he's brilliant in that. He's literally just, him and Sacha Baron Cohen together are just brilliant. Yeah. So check that out if you haven't seen that yet.
Seriously. And kind of Netflix's golden boy right now, but he didn't ink that overall deal.
That's true.
Jamie Foxx is starring and executive producing in Netflix's vampire comedy, Day Shift. Very interesting. Foxx is going to portray a hardworking blue-collar dad who wants to provide a good life for his quick-witted 8-year-old daughter, but his mundane San Fernando Valley pool cleaning job is the front for his real source of income: hunting and killing vampires.
So this is like a comedy version or like a really cheap attempt at Blade?
Right? Like, kind of. Kind of.
And they should have gone with, since Wesley's no longer playing Blade, they should have gone with Snipes for this. I don't know.
It would have been funny.
It would have been funny.
Yeah.
Apparently it's supposed to be a comedy, so what better way to have comedy than to have Blade playing another vampire? I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I love Jamie Foxx.
Oh, yeah.
I just think it would have been funnier with Wesley Snipes.
It would have been.
All right.
Well, now heading over to Amazon, they have issued a series order for Light Years, an hour-long sci-fi drama produced by Legendary Entertainment, and Light Years hails from Holden Miller, the Sun writer, and Into the Badlands producer Daniel C. Conley. The series centers around Franklin and Irene York, a couple who years ago discovered a chamber buried in their backyard, which inexplicably leads to a strange, deserted planet.
What?
Whoa, shit. This is very interesting.
Okay.
And it's carefully guarded. Their secret, they've carefully guarded their secret ever since. But when an enigmatic interesting young man, I should say, enters their life, the Yorks' their quiet existence is quickly upended, and the mysterious chamber they thought they knew so well becomes so much more than they ever could imagine.
Oh. So does this mysterious stranger come from the chamber? Is he coming from the supposedly deserted planet?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right.
Kudos though to anything that's original.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
going to knock anything that's original because that is not a reboot.
I want to watch it.
Yeah, me
too.
too.
To be honest,
Me
because
too.
I mean, so much good sci-fi stuff I feel like gets canceled real quick. Like
It's true.
like Vagrant Queen.
Yes.
Like we had Adrian Ray on the show to talk about
Yeah.
that, the lead, and it sucks, man.
It
sucks.
does.
Now head over to Apple doing some things with Scarlett Johansson.
That's right.
She's gonna star in a science fiction drama, Bride for Apple. It's just titled Bride.
Bride.
Not Bride for Apple. Bride follows a woman created an ideal wife, singular obsession with a brilliant entrepreneur when she rejects her creator and is forced to flee her confined existence, confronting the world that she sees as her monster. Damn. While on the run, she finds her true identity and her surprising power and the strength to remake herself as her own creation. It's kind of like overcoming shit and then becoming who you really want to be and who you are.
So it sounds like a take on Machina. You know, like this genius creator creates a wife, and then doesn't go exactly the way he planned. But I mean, it does sound like a very interesting premise, and and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, right.
Hello. I mean, and she needs some stuff to do. We're still waiting for Black Widow.
Yeah, right.
I just, so if we can see her anywhere else, that'd be great.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. Oh, exciting stuff. Kate Hudson has signed on to star in season 2 of Apple's drama series. Truth be told, this is going to be her first regular television role.
Oh.
And she's going to appear alongside lead Octavia Spencer.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's super epic. So, and I mean, she's supposed to play like this Misha Keith, a lifestyle guru and longtime friend of Poppy, who is Octavia's character. So, interesting.
Yeah. And her first role, it's amazing how they make the transition. You always think about the people making the transition from television to film, but now we're seeing a lot of them make the transition from film to television.
Yeah.
So, I am so freaking pumped about this next story, guys. Do you love all the classic cartoons, Peanuts cartoons, all the holiday specials? You know what I'm talking about. The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, Christmas Charlie Brown. You're like, well, they're all coming to Apple, guys. All of them. Specials over the holiday season, Peanuts, including a Charlie Brown Christmas. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. The latter, as you guys know, already made. It's available this week and will be available through October 30th to November 1st. So if you want to watch it on Halloween, and thank you. Because it seems like the networks always put these things out. Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer comes out like 8 weeks before fucking Christmas.
Right.
I want to watch Christmas on Christmas, okay?
Yeah.
So you can watch the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown on Halloween. That's fantastic.
Exactly.
Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is going to be put on Apple TV Plus right before Thanksgiving. So you will be able to see it on Thanksgiving. It's going to run November 18th and then run free from November 25th through the 27th. And then a Charlie Brown Christmas is going to come on December 4th. So that's awesome. And so apparently if you don't have Apple TV Plus, they're coming, and then right before the actual holiday, they'll run for free for like a week.
That's
so
cool.
that you'll get to see them. So I love that.
Definitely. And kind of off topic, kind of on topic. We went to Target the other day, and they're already fucking going to Christmas. Like, no sense of the word of Thanksgiving. Fall stuff gone. There was like one row of Halloween. Halloween's not until next week, and they were like, fuck it, those kids have their costumes.
And Tom Turkey, nowhere to be found.
No.
Nowhere.
Like, nowhere.
There was no cornucopia. There was no, like, harvest pumpkins.
Already ready for
You know what there was,
Kringle.
though? A lot of fucking glitter.
Yeah, everywhere.
I hate Christmas because of the glitter.
Because of the glitter.
I love Christmas. I hate glitter. I'm just saying it. You can never get rid of it.
You can't.
It's
always there.
You will be vacuuming your floor on Easter, and you will get some of that Christmas glitter.
It's always
It's
there.
always
It's so funny.
pain in the ass.
Oh, man.
This one's kind of cool, though.
Yeah,
Apple
it is.
has launched Apple Music TV. It's going to be a free 24-hour curated live stream of the popular music videos that will also include exclusive new music videos and premieres, special music video blocks, and live shows. So it's basically MTV.
Right.
What MTV used to be. Like 24/7 streaming of music.
Yeah.
This is fantastic because I was around for the launch of MTV.
Yeah.
And then horribly disappointed when the MTV was no longer even music.
Right.
So I'm super excited about this. I mean, we love Apple Music.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, this is going to kick ass.
It's interesting, too, because I'm wondering, like, is this a trying to compete with YouTube? Like, what if they make their own, like, video style platform that people can upload, like, their vlogs and, like, different type of tutorials and shit like that? Basically YouTube. Like, Apple's trying to compete with everybody, so it wouldn't surprise me.
No,
but,
not at all.
Like, yeah, just interesting.
And I guess this is a test run because it's only going to be available, we should say, in the U.S.
Yeah.
And you have to have the Apple Music app or the Apple TV app to be able to watch it. So we'll see. I'm excited for it. We'll keep an eye on it. I think it's going to be cool.
Exactly.
It's free.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you know.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
The time has come, guys.
It's like the movie pass of streamers.
Yeah. Quibi.
Yes.
Done for.
Done.
Short form mobile video startup led by Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman shutting down after 6 months after its launch. Kudos to them though, because they weren't like MoviePass and being shady.
Yeah, no.
So like,
no.
But still, I mean, we saw this coming. We kind of predicted it. We had high hopes.
Yep.
I mean, go back to when it first launched. We had it. We were ready. We were down. But yeah, I mean, it happens, man. It happens. They just didn't think it was gonna.
No. And they tried to find a buyer.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. So the only thing left was to shut down. I mean, that's what we're hearing anyway. Our sources are telling us that the investors, basically came to the board with like, you need to either find a buyer and get this done, or you need to just shelter it and shut it all down. And so that's what they did. Prior to that, though, here's the crazy part. They raised $1.75 billion in funding, and a lot of that, almost 90% of that, came from the big studios, the 5 majors.
Yeah.
Disney, NBC Universal, Warner Media. So my question is, by the way, if you have it, December 1st, that's when it's going to disappear. So you got at least a couple months left to watch whatever you wanted to watch on it.
Right.
But my question is, with that money funneled in, and now, oddly enough, they funneled that money in, but they wouldn't buy that shit. So I'm just wondering if they provided that $1.75 billion so that they could somehow now maybe claim access to the content.
Right.
Because there was some good shit on there. Like
was.
you said, there was some good shit. So maybe they take that and then turn it into long form content instead of the short form. And I mean, I don't know, but I don't see why you would toss $1.75 billion towards it and then not want to buy it. So I don't know.
Agreed. It's very interesting to see because, I mean, people were fans of it, but then, like, I don't know, the business aspect of it, and some content never got seen. Remember that superhero show from 50 Cent that was supposed to hit there?
Yeah.
That never even went into production. I saw an actor that was attached and gonna play, like, the main superhero, never went into production just because they didn't have the funding.
And did Swimming with Sharks? That was one of the ones I was most excited about. I never saw that either, so,
I know. It sucks, man. It's super unfortunate, but it is the way it is, and, I mean, it's the nature of the beast. I mean,
it is.
Cut your losses and try again.
Move on.
Yeah, Jeffrey's going to try again some way, somehow. But,
and he'll likely fail.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just putting it out there. Putting it out there.
Read the Disney Touch.
Yeah.
You'll know what I'm talking about.
But now it is time for our guest segment, guys. We got the one and only Rich Manley coming on the show. We're so super thrilled, like we teased at the top of the show. First magician. Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know.
And very, very much a family man.
Yes.
Like, so many stories about his family and why he went on this journey, this to-be series journey, to go all around the world and learn each other's cultures through magic. So I think it's pretty badass.
Yeah, and he's the epitome of being in the right place at the right time to develop these contacts and these networks to get where he wanted to be.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, when he tells that story, you'll see what we're talking about. So, this is a good one, though. I think for the up-and-comers, this is a really good one because, like I said, his positive attitude and the way he went about things is something you could learn from.
Completely agree, man. Completely agree. Well, here he is.
Rich Manley, welcome inside the Crazy Ant Farm. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. We're super excited to have you on the show, man. We're really interested in the series for sure. Culture Shock, Bridging Cultures Through Magic. I mean, just the title gets people like, what?
Right.
Gotta watch this. Gotta figure this out. What is this all about? So we're super pumped to talk about that, of course. But what we like to do first at the beginning of the interviews is kind of introduce you to the listeners and kind of get a feel of who you are and how you got started in the industry. So I guess I'm going to do the chicken and egg here. What came first, your love for magic or acting?
I would say probably magic. I started magic when I was 10 years old, And I kind of learned from my grandfather. He showed me my first card trick. And then after that, kind of the acting thing came after it, just as a byproduct of me performing for people. But I mean, back then when I was 10, it was just really mainly a comedy act because my magic was so bad, and I would do it for family functions and, Christmas, and everybody would be like, oh God, here's Rich trying to perform his next card trick, but we'll watch it, but as the years went on, I got better and better.
Yeah. Hopefully, right? I mean, you would think so.
Yeah.
I think since the career has progressed, you've probably done pretty well. So was it that feeling of being in front of a crowd that, it was like, how can I expand on this? I really like this kind of a feeling or atmosphere that kind of led to the acting, or did you fall into an acting class, or how did you make the transition, I guess, from the magic to the acting?
Well, I kind of, and my mom can attest to this too, I was always creating characters around the house, so I was kind of more of an introvert. I didn't really, I had like one or two friends, but I was big into dressing up as characters in the house, and so that's what I would do. And so I would put on these big magic shows for my family, dress up as a magician, and dupe my brothers into being the assistants, which they never wanted to be. And then the acting thing just kind of was. I was very much I always watched movies, and I always kind of wanted to be the people on the screen. I watched it, and I had a wild imagination as a kid, and I was like, oh, I want to be Indiana Jones. I want to be, and I love that sort of stuff, all the adventure stuff. So I guess that kind of led me into a lot of the adventures that I go on now. It's just that as a kid, I was always like, oh, I want to be these people that, that travel the world and get into these adventures. And, I just thought it was great.
Absolutely. Well, and you write also. So did you find yourself like writing these adventures and then be like, I could totally be in this. I can do this.
Yeah. I was a weird kind of kid because I really just stuck to myself. And I had this, my grandmother, I was really close with her. She's still around, but she was the wife of my grandfather who taught me the magic. But she used to always say, he's like Charles Dickens, because I was always writing too. So I was either creating characters, doing magic for my family, or writing. And then when I think it was 15, I wrote a 300-page children's book. It wasn't really a children's book, but like a young adult's book about animals in the woods that talked and had adventures. And so yeah, I was always writing too.
Wow, kind of a jack of all trades, man.
Right, seriously.
Out here doing everything. We also see that you can kick some ass. You're also a black belt in karate.
Yeah. I think honestly a lot of it just came into me having no friends and just being inside and just wanting to do all these things and develop these characters on my own. So yeah, the martial arts thing that came out of I was watching kung fu movies during that time too. It's like around 12 years old, and I would see the Bruce Lee movies and then Jet Li and Jackie Chan, and I was like, oh, now I want to be that. So movies really, I think they really, and TV kind of really pushed me toward, like what I see is I want to be this person, not realizing that a lot of the stuff, it's all make believe, but as a kid I'm watching and like, oh, I want to be that. So, the martial arts thing started with the Jet Li, Jackie Chan thing, and I got really, when I do something, I get really into it, and I do it 100%. So, even with the magic, I was practicing for hours a day, and then with the martial arts, I started around 13, and I started around doing Kenpo karate, and then that was my alarm. I don't know if you heard that. But that was letting me know that I was going to be late for this appointment. So the martial arts thing, I started with the Kenpo karate. I did that, and I was doing that every night. I was training at a studio locally, and then I started teaching, and I got my black belt like 3 years, and I started teaching at that school. And then around 16, I took up Wing Chun Kung Fu in New York City. I went with my karate instructor. I started learning Wing Chun, and then that's when I also saw the Shaolin monks. I met this performance team that came over from China, and they were residing in Flushing, New York. And I was really fascinated on how they moved, because even though I did the Kenpo karate, it wasn't like Jackie Chan and Jet Li. And so I was like, okay, I like the Kenpo karate, but they're not moving the same way as these other guys. And then I realized, because they're doing Kung Fu, and it's a different style.
Right.
So I said, that's what I want to do. So I started training with the Shaolin monks and really got into that. and I trained with them up until around 19 years old. And I was doing it 8 hours a day. I was asking my mom to come outside the house and watch me do these forms and watch me bend spears with my neck, and she was terrified and thought I was going to kill myself. And
right.
So, but yeah, that's kind of how that all happened.
Wow. I mean, just listening to like your passion about all these different things, you're just not afraid to try things. And I mean, I feel like a lot of people who get involved in the entertainment industry, they're scared. They get scared about trying new things, whether it be writing, directing, but you're doing it all, man. And I love it.
Yeah. And I got to ask, was there ever a point where you thought 9-to-5 job, or was it always because of the creativity and the need for the outlet to express yourself, especially as an introvert? Was it always I'm never doing a 9-to-5. I got to find a way to do this.
Well, yeah. I mean, I broke out of the introvert thing, I think, after when I got to college, and then so I was more, I still like my alone time. I still like my space where I can create and develop. But then I also, I had that other performer side as well, and I think. For what happened, actually, I just got sidetracked. But what was the question again?
I said, did you ever
introvert? Extrovert?
Yeah, did you ever see yourself in a 9-to-5? Was there a backup plan?
Oh yeah.
Or was it always I'm gonna go into this career field?
Yeah. So that I did have jobs. I did the regular jobs. I was working as a server, and I did do tricks and things for people, magic tricks. And then I was a bartender, and I did the same thing. And everywhere I went, I actually worked on grounds crew in my teenage years too, at a golf course. And for me, I don't know what it was. I could never take anything seriously. So I think I was just living in my head, wanting to create things. So the reality to me was always just so funny when I was creating things on paper and stories. And so when I was working on the grounds crew, I was always playing practical jokes on a lot of the older individuals. I mean, there was this one guy who was this crazy guy, groundskeeper guy, who he was the pesticide guy. So he would spray the on the grass and the greens and the pesticides, and he just didn't talk to many people. He grumbled, and he was always smoking in the break room, and I'm pretty sure doing drugs. We don't know what was going on. So I caught a gardener snake, and I knew he was afraid of snakes, and I put it in the seed bag, which he uses to seed the grass. And all of the other guys were waiting for him to go in the shed to get the bag, and he got it, and he screamed, ran out. He was pissed, and he just said, who was this? I know who it was, and he was looking for me, But so I guess when it comes to the 9-to-5, and even when I was serving as a bartender, I was doing more magic tricks than serving people,
right?
Because I just loved to entertain, and so they kept me on. The manager there said, "Look, Rich, otherwise I'd fire you because you're not really doing your job, but you bring people in for the magic." He said, "But you're not really a bartender because the other bartenders are upset at you because they have to fill your drinks while you're doing magic." And so I was like, okay, well, in my head, I said to myself, okay, obviously my path is entertaining people, doing magic. And when the 9-to-5 job came about in my head and I started thinking about that, I knew I wouldn't survive, get fired from every job. I know I would. So, yeah.
So you do what a lot of did. You took your skill sets and appeared on a pilot, right? You started with stars, stunts, and action, and I guess from that point on, you were like, "Oh, I can do this. I have skill sets. I love this. I can make this transition," right?
Yeah, that was a big turning point. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like? I mean, did they utilize? Was it all about your karate skills, or did you do some magic stuff for the guys too, or what was that like, and where did you go from there?
It was just about stunts and stuntmen in Hollywood. And I met the producer, James Houston, who is now my co-host in Culture Shock. I met him when I was in college.
Awesome.
Because I went to college for majoring in sports physical fitness, but I went there because you could minor in martial arts, which was really interesting at this college at Bradford. So I met him, and he he actually owned a gym, a martial arts school there, and he would go back and forth to LA shooting this show, The Stars, Stunts, and Action. And he saw my martial arts abilities, and I would do some seminars for him with the Wing Chun and the Shaolin. So he invited me to come, and that's where I met so many contacts in the industry from the stunt world and, the martial arts world. And so I demonstrated my Shaolin techniques, my Wing Chun, and I got to learn a lot about, how they're portrayed in movies, which is very different, obviously, than how they're actually performed, or used, I should say. So,
right.
No, it was a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of other great experiences, you starred or was in The Company Men with Ben Affleck, Chris Cooper, and Tommy Lee Jones. What was that like working with such huge names?
Well, Ben Affleck, I had more time with Ben Affleck. He's a very interesting guy. I mean, he comes from Boston, just like me. And so, he was easy to chat with, easy to talk with. We had things in common because of the locations of where we went, and, we could talk about the Red Sox and all of that. So, he was a cool guy to be around. Very, very focused individual, because when he's directing, his movies too, he's very focused in what he does. And, so it was great. It was great to chat with him. I actually did a card trick for him too. So he liked that.
There you go. Because you got to impress. If it's Ben Affleck, you got to impress, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is cool too, because we mentioned that you were a writer. So for anybody out there listening and looking up, you wrote a book, and then the book was turned into a movie, right? And James Caan and Lacey Chabert. I mean, come on, Lance Henriksen. That's an impressive cast for a book that you wrote that gets turned into a movie, man.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting experience. So I wrote this book called Acre Beyond the Rye, and it was really a long-winded screenplay. It was basically a screenplay I could never stop writing. So it was like a 300-page screenplay, and I was like, oh God, I should just turn this into a book. So I wrote it like that first, and I went to a buddy of mine who was a book writer, and I said, Dan, his name was Dan. I said, Dan, can you like look at this screenplay that I've written, and can we find a way to turn it into a book? Because I don't know if I have the energy to take this format and turn it into a book. And he's like, well, let me read it, and he did. And so he helped me work on getting it, in the right format, just changing some things. And so, we published the book. And then after that, I'd always wanted to make it into a movie, because that's really the premise of why I wrote it.
Right.
And so I started working at Paramount when I first got here in LA, which was about 9 years ago, when I first got here. And then I got a job for a company at Paramount doing script supervising and writing, and I would work on projects in my office on and off, just like working on writing scripts. And I started writing Acre Beyond the Rye again, so that it was in an actual watchable format, not 300-page epic movie. Yeah, and so we did that, and I wrote it, and then I met a contact of mine, started my own company after I left Paramount with my business partner, who was an accountant, who actually was it's kind of funny, because meeting him was really a catalyst for a lot of other things. I was doing magic at a sushi restaurant, and these sushi chefs were just feeding me sake after sake shots. I was like, I don't know how much, and so they wanted to see more magic, and the whole restaurant was involved. And so he comes over to me, his name's Barry, and he says, I'm an accountant, and I actually represent a few magicians, or they've hired me. And I said, oh, great. So, yeah, I do need my taxes done, because I'm terrible at that. So we became close friends and started a production company where he handles all the, the money matters. And I use my contacts I've made just being in the industry and at Paramount. And we collectively put together the Acre Beyond the Rye. I called upon one of the producers over there I had met at Paramount to get everything together, and he knew Lacey and James Caan, and so we got it going. And working with James was really interesting. I mean, over in Mississippi, he's a very straight to the point guy. Very, very abrasive, but he knew his stuff. He wanted things done in a certain way, and when we were on set, if it wasn't done a certain way, he'd let everyone know.
I can totally see that. I can see it.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic, though, man. Like, so many important things there, because we have a lot of people that are up-and-comers trying to get into the industry. And I think a lot to take away from that is the importance of networking, because even if you're doing magic tricks over sushi, or you never know who you're going to be around, who you're going to connect with, and maintaining relationships, like you said, being able to establish those contacts and maintaining relationships at Paramount, to even where after you're gone from Paramount, you can go back and say, hey, I've got this idea, or we can do this, or we can do that. So extremely important networking and building relationships out in LA.
Yes, yeah. And the interesting thing is, I always told James, who was basically my very first contact / friend in the industry that brought me with Star Stunts in Action. We talk a lot about this sort of thing, and I always said to him, and he used to say to me too, he's like, Rich, the one great skill that you have in this industry when you're trying to network is your magic. He said, because actors or anybody else that wants to break in the industry have it harder if they can't show their skill. Like, They can have a demo reel, but then you've got to give that. But with magic, you can do it right there, right in front of everybody. They see it, and then they can see your skill. Hopefully, if you're doing it good, well enough, and and so it's basically like a business card right there that people are like, okay, I see the potential, I see the skill. It's right there. It's entertaining everybody, and it's a really good way to break the ice.
I love that, using it as a map, because it's memorable. No matter what, after the meeting, they're going to be talking about you. So it's all that's what you want. You want people to talk about you, So yeah, that's brilliant, man. That's brilliant.
Right.
All right, well, let's talk about it. The biggie, the series coming up on Tubi, Culture Shock, Bridging Cultures Through Magic. The whole premise sounds interesting. Traveling all over the place, sharing magic with different cultures and different people, and then in exchange learning from them. How did that come about? Where did the idea come from for that? And talk about that, man, because this sounds exciting.
Yeah, of course. So that really started with my grandfather. Like I said earlier, he was the one that taught me magic when I was around 10 years old. And I was fascinated by him because he was a surgeon. And in the 40s, they taught surgeons how to be better with their fingers. So they taught them sleight of hand so they have better finger dexterity. And he learned that. And he traveled the world trying to find better ways to improve his medicinal practice, or his medical practice, I should say. And he went to Tibet, learning healing rituals and meditation. He went to the Amazon, and he learned herbal medicine and deep in the Amazon to meet tribes. And he'd do magic for them, just as a side thing. And he also loved adventure, so he'd go kayaking, in the East Coast, or climbing up mountains in Switzerland, and just all over. He was a climber, skier, did all this stuff. And so when I came over to my grandparents' house, I would always want to go into his study because I loved Indiana Jones, and going in there was almost like Indiana Jones' dad. He kind of looked like
there you go.
He wore the cap and everything, and I always wanted to touch and see all these things. He had mariners, sextants, and all these different like old stuff that he had in this room.
Awesome.
And he kept this travel journal, which was all the places he went to and everything that he learned there. And so when he passed away, he actually left it to me, and I have the journal with me. And the show came about when I went on a trip to Egypt with James, the Star Stunts in Action producer that I had met, that's my close friend. We went to this bazaar called Khan el-Khalili, which was a famous bazaar in Egypt. And we went just as tourists because I loved Egypt, and I wanted to get some memorabilia. And we went in, and I was getting some, trinkets and things like that. And everybody was heckling us, saying, "Oh, buy this, buy this, buy that." And I said to James, "Okay, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity for me to do some magic because all of these people are around, and let's see what's going to happen." So I did a few tricks, and soon enough, everybody started conglomerating. I started doing things for them, making things levitate, and I had all of the merchants come up to me, circling around me, and it was just, I swear, almost up to 70 people just around.
Wow.
And afterwards, they were inviting me into their homes, having tea with them, and we were viewed in a very different way. So James and I left, and we went to our hotel room, and we said, okay, so magic has an extreme potential to almost change the viewpoint of people, bridging. That's why we call it Bridging Cultures Through Magic, because after I did the magic, I wasn't looked at as a tourist anymore. I was looked at as one of they even called me brothers. And they started sharing with me stories of, their family and of Egypt, and it was just very fascinating. So coming back to LA, I started thinking about that, and I looked at my grandfather's travel journal, and I said, okay, well, here's an idea for a show. Following my grandfather's travel journal, using these skills of magic to travel to the places that he went to in my journal, doing magic for them, so that way I could basically bridge that gap of not being able to understand their language or their culture, because magic's universal.
Absolutely.
And so in doing that, we created this show where it's basically following that journal and learning what my grandfather did.
Wow. I mean, talk about a specific or an epic way to honor your grandfather, who obviously meant very much to you. And I mean, to do it in this way, a way that he passed down basically to you with magic, and to talk to so many different people about their cultures and their lifestyles. I can imagine, like, it took you everywhere and you experienced some very amazing things.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we did, and there was events too where we got into trouble.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
There's always some of that, right? Good trouble, hopefully, right? Good trouble.
Good trouble. I'm glad we're still alive.
There you
go. So.
It always makes for interesting stories, though. I think the one thing this show is going to do, though, which I'm really excited about, and we love to have people on like yourself to do this, is, like you said, magic is universal, and you go to all these different cultures, and you're sharing all these things, and you're bridging the gap. And I feel like it's important because these are the type projects that show, humanity and mankind, we have so much more in common than we do apart. And to have these shows and to bridge and to show people that, people genuinely like each other. They have, this need to be with each other, as opposed to all this hatred and all this, stuff going down nowadays. To have shows like this and projects like that to show how humanity really is and how people really are, I think it's important.
I agree. And to me, it's a big, it's really about integration rather than one culture being above or below or anywhere in between another. It's about, the show's about how we have our similarities with one another. For instance, tribes in Africa who have their stories and their traditions and their beliefs on creation and God and all of these the stories they have. And then you go to the Andes in Peru, and they believe in, they call Mother Earth Pachamama and Huacas, which Huacas are spirits that are within mountains, rivers, and all natural formations. And, there's just a lot of similarities and even in the United States with the Native Americans, they believe in certain spirits being within natural elements and natural formations. And so all of this, learning all the similarities, instead of everyone saying, well, this is a better way of thinking, this is a better way of thinking, that's a better way. Everything is interrelated, and the show is about showing how everything is related.
Love that.
Yeah, seriously. I think people are really going to benefit from this. Of course, it's going to be hugely entertaining, but people are going to possibly bridge the gap, like you said. I mean, to make people talk more of different cultures, try to experience different cultures, so they can have more of a understanding of everybody. Because I think that's what we need. We need to have more conversations and more understanding of where everybody's coming from, really.
Right.
And what better way to do that than magic?
Exactly.
I mean, because, like you said, it's a conversation starter. No matter what you're doing, magic will be a conversation starter. So it's brilliant. Now, this is going to be on Tubi. So if you guys have Roku or Amazon Fire or Apple, you guys have access to it.
Also on Vudu, you'll be able to rent past episodes on Vudu, so it'll be on Vudu as well for renting.
And now, are you on social media? Where can people follow you?
Yeah, I am. All of my adventures are on my Instagram, which is Rich C. Manley. It's RICH and then C for my middle initial, and then my last name Manley, which is Manley.
Awesome.
And a lot of my adventures are on my personal website, which you can see all the places I've traveled and different experiences and videos, and that's expeditionrich.com.
Fantastic.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Yeah.
One more thing before we let you go. We always like to have
Sure.
our guests leave a little piece of advice for the up-and-comers trying to break into the entertainment industry, whichever aspect they're trying to break into, and what pitfalls would you say to try to avoid?
Well, I always say that be ready for the pitfalls, because no matter what, you're going to fall into them. But the thing is, you need to have the persistence to climb out of them and keep going. So I think that is the biggest lesson, is that knowing that you may fall into a lot of pitfalls, because the entertainment industry is so up and down and all over that you have to stay focused. You have to follow what truly deep down is you as a person and not get lost into something else. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was magic. And I stuck to that, and I kept that person, and I didn't change. And I think if you follow your passion, you don't change. You fall into the pitfalls, but they're there. You climb out of them. You keep going. That's what you have to do.
Love that. I mean, the strong message there is you do not have to conform to be successful. You can stay true to yourself and still succeed. I love that, man. Listen, dude, thanks so much for coming on the show. This has definitely been an interesting conversation and a lot of fun. And I think you're going to see a lot of people watch the show. I think it's going to be something that's really going to entertain and inform people, man. And we couldn't be more happy that you came on and talked to us.
Well, thank you for having me. And no, this was great. This was fun.
Absolutely, man. An open invite. Anytime you want to come back and talk or promote something or just hang out with us, dude, open invite, man.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Well, you have fun over there. And I'm going to try to avoid all the crazy fires and everything else here.
Yes.
Good luck.
Good luck,
man.
Yeah.
All right. Take care now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So good. So good. And like I said in the interview, what a better way to homage and pay honor to his grandfather, who obviously did mean a lot to him, than follow his travel journal and to go to all these places and to talk to all these people. I think it's just great.
Right. Did you like me have a supernatural moment?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, wait, there's a journal and he's gonna follow the journal and go on these adventures. It's like totally Winchester. But
yeah, I know.
But I do. I just love that. You're right. It's a nice homage to his grandfather, and what a way to. We always talk about this. Start a conversation.
Exactly.
Show that we are more alike than we are apart, and I mean, good for him. I think, and I really do like the end there where he said you don't have to conform. Just stay true to yourself and you can do it. And
exactly.
Great stuff, man.
Completely agree. Thank you again, Rich Manley, for coming on the show. All right, guys. Now it is time for our top 5 segment. We teased it a little bit earlier when we were talking about all of those reboots and revisited situations that are happening in the entertainment industry. This week, it is top 5 TV shows you would actually like to see rebooted and or revived.
Right.
So it's kind of like a revision, like coming back into the story where they are now, or completely rebooted with a new cast and or different storylines, because I kind of have some of those as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean,
it's a nice mix.
Yeah.
So, but these are the ones, because you hear us complain all the time about the reboots and remakes.
Yeah.
These are the ones we actually want.
Right? It's surprising, right? We actually do want some.
You mean we found 10 that we actually want?
Yeah.
We did. So here we go.
Exactly. Well, my number 5, I'm taking it back to my childhood.
Oh.
And I mean, dating myself a little bit. And I mean, not by much,
You're
but
dating yourself? You don't need to date yourself.
I mean, I'm aging myself a little bit, but not by much. Because
does Emily know this one? What is
I
going
know,
on?
right? Fairly Odd Parents. I feel like this would be a great one to either be rebooted and or revisited, in the sense that it could be a whole new kid, because as a kid, you think, oh, it'd be so amazing to have anything you ever wished for, but actually it's kind of scary, because you have certain limitations and outcomes that if you wish for something, of course you're going to have cause and effect when it comes to something. So I feel like that teaches kids on what's actually important in life and what's not actually important in life. I mean, you're basically grown up to believe that if you have money, you're going to be happy and successful and blah, 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 blah. But actually, like, it shows the more you do for others, the more good that will happen to you. So I feel like, Fairly Odd Parents is a good way to help kids realize that at a younger and earlier age.
And I'm totally down with this. I was a huge fan of the cartoon as well, even though I'm older, and I really enjoyed it. Just a couple of things I'd like to add to that. Keep it cartoon.
Of course.
Don't live action and don't go with Drake Bell.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's all I'm saying. If you keep it cartoon and don't go live action with Drake Bell, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in. Now, my number 5 is one I was shocked you didn't have on the list because I thought for sure you would. So I was thrilled that I could put it on the list.
There you go.
Entourage.
Yes.
I want this show back so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Just like from the second I first saw it, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I loved it. I can't even tell you how many times I've watched all the seasons over and over and over again. I loved the fucking movie. And I know they kind of wrapped everything up in the movie, but come on, there's so much more to tell.
So much more.
And I want to make this clear. I want this revived, not rebooted.
Yes.
Bring back Vinny and the boys. Bring back Ari. Let's see where it's going and how it's going down. I just think it's brilliant. It's probably the most accurate interpretation of Hollywood and the industry and what does go on. The dark side, the good side, the perks, the bad thing. I really feel like it was the definitive explanation as to what happens in that town. And being in that town and seeing it all, it's the most accurate version of what goes on in that town. We can attest. So, Entourage. Just come on, Doug Ellen. Bring it back, man. Bring it back.
Agreed,
Just
man.
say it.
Agreed. Number 4 for me is kind of a reboot, not really a revive, because I think you would have to tell it completely different now in today's climate. Blue Mountain State, Spike TV's Blue Mountain State, it's basically just a fucking whole huge college party show.
That's it.
It's great. It's absolutely great, but I think you could take it a step further. I'm a huge drama guy. I love it. I'm a thespian, all that good shit. So I feel like now you could do it in the sense of COVID and how that's mentally affecting these kids going to college. Like, they basically worked more than 12 years basically to get to college. They're at their last final step, and then it's kind of basically taken away that experience that some people cherish for the rest of their lives. So, and I mean, for those who are in college for like 12 years,
what?
The what?
Huh? What?
I mean, really loved the experience. And those who don't even get to experience that anymore, it sucks. But, I mean, of course you would deal with maybe even having a fucking party and that multiple people at the party test positive for COVID.
Yeah,
I just feel like more accurate interpretations of what's going on right now is very necessary, because for the kids who are about to come up in this is what's going to be their future if there's not a cure or not a fix to the situation. So we need to educate ourselves on everything, and I feel like television is a great way to educate the peers, and I've said that multiple times on the show, so I'm sorry this is such an in-depth answer, but I think it's necessary.
It's absolutely necessary, and I agree with all of that. I think it's one of those shows that could be made relevant right now, and I mean, you should do it. What's popular right now, we know what's slamming, we know what's kicking, we know what everybody's trying to do, right? Well, I would like to see a show that was a bit before its time. Mm-hmm. It was brilliant. It kind of hit just a little bit too early. Yeah. And it comes from the mastermind of the Arrowverse, Greg Berlanti.
Like just barely before.
Just barely. Missed it by he was ahead of his time by a couple of years. And I'm talking about No Ordinary Family that was on ABC for a season. Okay? This show was absolutely brilliant from Berlanti.
Yeah.
It was very Fantastic Four-esque, as in a family that gets superpowers and everything, but the dynamic of how they interacted and what it meant to have these powers and what they had to learn and go through and how to be responsible with them and all these different things, everything you come to expect from a Berlanti superhero show.
For sure.
The problem is that it hit a couple of years too early. I just thought it was brilliant. It had the most incredible cast, y'all, okay? Julie Benz, Michael Chiklis, Kay Pambaker, Autumn Reeser, Josh Stewart, Rami Malco, like all these huge names were on the show, okay? And they all were brilliant at. You remember Josh Stewart in like the second season of Punisher, the bad guy? I mean, like he had like this epic storyline with like he was a good guy, bad guy. Is he a good guy, bad guy kind of a thing? Like this total creeper with Autumn's character, who was like the assistant to Julie Benz's character, like the wife, the main character. And she, by the way, was a cool superhero nerd. Autumn's character, she had a little Kitty Pryde and I mean Lockheed, so badass.
You're talking about Autumn Reeser, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And Chickless. Michael Chiklis as like the big strong guy. He had superpower, like super strength and everything. And Julie Benz could run at super speed. And then the son had like he could see things. He had like a super brain and he could like put together formulas and things like that. And then Kay could control the earth. Like Kay Panbaker's character could control the earth. It was just really awesome. It was really awesome. It's a brilliant show. I've always thought it should have deserved another season. So, and now's the opportunity. You got the CW, you got HBO Max, you have all these different where Berlanti's got to deal with every fucking network and streamer. So let's get it out there, Greg. Bring it back, man. I'd love to. I'm sure Chickless and all the gang would be down for it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bring it back. Bring it back.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed. And shows that, speaking of shows that were way ahead of its time, and if this show was in the time of reboots, it would have definitely gotten rebooted or revised, especially with this epic cast. I'm talking about Freaks and Geeks. Oh yes. My goodness. James Franco, Linda Cardellini, I mean, John Francis Daley, so many, Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, like, I mean, so many people, Busy Phillips, like, so many people were on this show, man, and it was so relevant, especially to the 90s, what was happening and how high school culture was in the 90s. And like I said, with Blue Mountain State, I feel like it'd be very important to show that, how high school is now. And yeah, so yeah, I Freaks and Geeks, man.
It's so funny that you say that because I feel like there were two like shows in the 90s that just absolutely nailed high school life in that era. Freaks and Geeks was definitely one of them, and then My So-Called Life. I felt like those both just kind of, and I think either one of those would be great. Like, but Busy Phillips was so good on Freaks and Geeks, and Linda Cardellini.
Of course, of course.
I'm a huge fan of Linda Cardellini. I'm just saying. Okay, let's move on. Number 3 for me, Kevin Weissman. You know, I want you back. I want you back. Jennifer Garner, Victor Garber. I want them all back. I'm talking about Alias. Yeah. Did you know a little guy named Bradley Cooper got on that show? He started on that show. You know, Will. He was Will on Alias. Yes. Just a brilliant, absolutely epic spy show from J.J. Abrams. And Bad Robot. And it was, you didn't know who was who, working for what. They were all confused. Well, you thought they were the CIA or SD6, but is SD6 actually the CIA? Is CIA actually SD6?
Right.
Who is a double agent? Who isn't a double agent? Are they Russian? Are they not Russian? What the fuck? It was brilliant. And you were like riding that roller coaster every single episode, every single week. And Jennifer Garner, man, I just absolutely brilliant in that show. Yes, please, JJ. There's been rumors about it for years about doing a reboot. Yeah. When Jennifer Garner did Peppermint, everybody's like, this is it. Like, she still got it. She can still do it. And nothing yet. So JJ, Jennifer, Kevin, all you guys, Victor,
make it happen.
Oh yeah, make it happen. Bring back Alias. You know the fans want it. Definitely. They say it all the time. They want it. So let's make that happen.
Definitely.
Let's make that happen.
Oh man. Such a good show. Number two for me is Netflix original The Ranch. I mean, I think solely, because we talked about this at the top of the show, they should solely reboot it in the sense that just take away Danny Masterson's character and fucking introduce Dax Shepard's character at the very beginning and have that be the dynamic.
There you go.
I think that would fix everything.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have started like that, then there wouldn't have been so much backlash when Dax's character was introduced after Danny's character left, and I just think it would be so good, man, so good, because, I mean, their character types, not exactly they're the same character, but their character attitudes and their character types are kind of the same, so I feel like it would make sense. But yes, for that reason alone, reboot, because I love Ashton Kutcher, I love Samuel Elliott, I love Dax Shepard, Jim Beaver was on the show.
Yes.
Fucking basically anybody and everybody who's affiliated with That 70s Show came on the show as well, so it's great. It's really good.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. And who doesn't want Sam Elliott back on TV?
Exactly.
Come on. Okay, my number 2. I loved this show. I absolutely loved it. And again, this is another one that they've been playing with me for years. Saying it is, it isn't, it is, it isn't. Will it, won't it? I'm talking about Frasier. Kelsey Grammer, BB Newirth. I mean, I want Frasier and Lilith back. I want the whole gang back.
Yeah.
I thought the show was absolutely brilliant. You know, you got hints of the brilliance on Cheers. But when they spun that off, I don't think anybody saw the pure brilliance that became Frasier, you know, from Cheers. It was just one of my all-time favorite series, and Kelsey Grammer and just David Hyde Pierce and all of them on there were just absolutely brilliant. And they keep teasing this. This is one that they keep talking about. Kelsey Grammer wants to do it. Apparently, everybody wants to do it. So I guess that they keep saying they're trying to work a deal. They're close to a deal. They're doing this. They're doing that. Just make it happen because people want this show back.
Agreed.
And I mean, I want to see where it's at. You guys all remember how it ended? I want to see where it's at after that. I mean, come on. This one's like Frasier.
It's not asking a lot.
It's not asking a lot. It's a guaranteed hit. Just do it. Just do it.
Exactly. Well, my number 1 is kind of renewed, basically, because it was canceled after the first season because don't change the story at all because it was growing great places and had a great cast, so don't replace them at all either.
Don't do it.
I'm talking about The Last Tycoon, Amazon original, our buddy Billy Ray. Oh my goodness, like this show was so great. It was so freaking great. And I mean, speaking of Kelsey Grammer,
yes,
and Matt Boomer, like fucking, it's Lily
Collins.
Yep. Yeah, just it's so good.
So good. Like, and Flashdance herself.
Yeah.
Jennifer Beal.
Yeah, she was in it.
She was in it. You know, bring this one back. It's much like Entourage, but on the other side, it was like the epitome of the studio system in the golden age of Hollywood. And Billy Ray just fucking nailed it.
He did.
The casting was perfect. The writing was perfect. The visuals were perfect. I mean, Lily Collins, Celia Brady, holy shit.
Yeah.
He teased us in his interview that he was working on a spin-off of it with a certain character. I don't know, but I hope it's Celia Brady and I hope it's Lily Collins and we can go back and address that again. We know Monroe dies.
Yeah.
We know that. So no matter how good the seasons go, inevitably that's going to happen. So that means it's either Pat or Celia, and I feel like Celia is the young.
Yeah.
All right, come on, Billy. Amazon's playing the game now. Sulky's there. The old guard is gone. Let's go back.
Come on, bro.
We know they got money.
Yeah.
So if it was a budget problem, that ain't the problem no more.
Exactly.
Like, get Lily, get the gang back. Let's do this.
It would be so good.
I'm so glad you put it on the list.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was one I thought was going to be on my list because you hear me all the time talking about it. And I thought for sure he would have Entourage, but, there you go.
A little flip-flop.
Yeah, a little flip-flop.
Yeah, it's so good, man. It's so good. But now heading over to the box office recap. Some interesting things, man. Some interesting things. Number 5 was Hocus Pocus. It's been on the list a while.
It has
been going to watch it on Disney Plus tonight. It came in at number 5 with 750,000. Number 4 was A Nightmare Before Christmas with 1.2 million. Number 3 was Tenet with 1.3 million.
Okay.
Number 2 was The War with Grandpa, that Bobby De Niro film with 2.5 million.
Yes.
And number 1 was Honest Thief with 3.7 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Liam Neeson, Kate Walsh, basically taken,
he's got a particular set of skills. At some point he was on the phone and he's coming for you.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson, every movie is the same, but they all work. I mean, congratulations, Liam. You got it. You're like he's like the Adam Sandler of drama, though.
Right?
He's
making it happen, man.
He's making it happen. That's
so freaking funny. New movies that are coming out are After We Collided, Borat, the movie. It's the second one, and it's gonna be on Amazon Prime as well.
Yes.
The Empty Man, Synchronic. What?
Yep, Synchronic,
and Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's basically all of the Friends Thanksgiving, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, I actually was watching GMA this morning, and they interviewed Sacha Baron Cohen, and apparently he dressed up like Donald Trump and got into a Mike Pence event. like, a Mike Pence rally, and like nobody knew until he made a fool of himself. And Secret Service escorted him out, but never asked for his identification.
Oh.
That right there. This is the Vice President of the United States. This guy was making an ass of himself, like, and then you don't even ask for his identification to like put him on the blacklist. Like, what? How does that not make sense?
I know.
And then also, I guess the girl who stars in the film played like a reporter character with Giuliani, Trump's lawyer. Oh. Yeah, and apparently he like did something with his belt that seemed kind of risque, and so I'm just gonna have to watch the film just for these two scenes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Borat. I didn't like the first one. I'll be honest. I know maybe I'll take some heat for that, but I just didn't. But I got to tell you, Sacha Baron Cohen impressed the shit out of me with the Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yeah.
So, like, guys, definitely check that out. I think he really, really shows his acting skills in that film. Whether it's Sorkin's dialogue or Sorkin's direction or just the brilliant talent of Sacha, it's great. Yeah. So, Borat. But Trial of Chicago 7.
I'm going to watch the two scenes. There
you go. I mean, that's, you know.
Movies you can still go see: Two Hearts, New Mutants, Unhinged, Love and Monsters, and The Kid Detective, like any theater that may or may not be open near you.
Sure. Two of Hearts, an old 80s song from Stacy Q.
Oh,
yeah. Showing my age again.
It's fine. That's fine. I showed mine with Fairly Odd Parents. It's all good. Now heading over to IMDb Pro Top Trending segment. Oh, man, you guys know we love this app.
We do.
It's literally freaking what we wake up to in the morning. What we go to bed to.
Don't go to the shower again. What
we shower with in the middle of the day. It's so great.
It comes with a soap app. It's fantastic.
It does. It's the best smelling soap you've ever smelt. But anyway, the top trending movie this week is still Hubie Halloween. Adam Sandler's. He brought the gang back together. Kevin, what's his face from King of Queens is in it.
Yes, Kevin James.
There you go. And, a bunch of other people. Top trending TV show is The Haunting of Bile Manor.
Man, I have heard all kinds of things about this. It's everywhere. Yeah. And, I'm definitely interested in seeing it.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely. Netflix is doing great things, especially with Halloween being right around the corner.
Yes.
And Victoria Pederity. You're not
Pedretti.
Victoria
Pedretti.
Yeah,
I was just seeing,
how many times it would go. She's a top trending star because she's in the TV. She's in the TV show.
Yeah.
So congratulations to her. She's rocking and rolling. But congratulations to you guys because you got through this crazy ass episode.
Yes.
We got to thank our guest one more time, Rich Manley, for coming on the show and getting a little crazy with us. Absolute pleasure, man. Be sure to follow him on social media. We'll be sure to put handles everywhere on our platform. To be sure to follow us on social media first at ItCap Podcast, and of course the company at Crazy Ant Media. And of course you can follow us both personally all over social media. Myself, JLo Fantastic, and
Crazy Ant Guy 1970.
That's right. And of course you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. And of course you guys know we have a YouTube channel. Be sure to head over there and like this video, subscribe, ring that bell for the latest notifications for our crazy videos that we are going to be posting in the future. You will not regret it, guys. And then, of course, before we go away, be sure to visit our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, to make sure you pick up the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. We do have some Black Friday sales coming up, and we do have some other sales coming up. New designs are selling like crazy while supplies last.
Yes.
So we appreciate everybody for that. But honestly, this has been a great show, man. This has been a really good show. The superhero stuff is awesome. I'm super excited for Static Shock.
Yeah, that's going to be a really exciting one with Michael B. Jordan. So you got Raising D on Static Shock. He's just killing it in the superhero market.
Yeah.
So doing really well. And then, of course, excited about what we're going to see or not see. There's all kinds of stuff going on about from Warner Media about, the superhero stuff. So that's exciting, too. And then I was really happy about the news of what was coming out of Disney.
Yeah.
and like, you know, they seem to be on the path of recovery, if you will. We don't know when they're going to open or not open, but they've got a plan. They're putting it in place. Like, I mean, we always knew the Mouse House was going to get it together.
Yeah.
You know, so I was excited to hear about that. And of course, you know, always our interviews.
Of course. Always so good. Always so good. And of course, be sure to go out and go vote. Getting there, man. Vote early, vote however you feel comfortable. Home, by mail, all that good stuff. But be sure to go vote.
Do it.
So good, so good. I'm sure she's already voted, but I mean, she probably like voted at home, like on her white couch, not yellow couch. But she's great. You all know the only O that matters. Oprah!